What if the Digimon Adventure Digidestined, instead of crests, were driven to darkness and instead used the crowns of the 7 deadly sins and were partnered with the 7 great demon lords? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and thank you for liking and subscribing so that we can hit our goal of 30,000 subscribers. We're 4K away, let's do this. And yes, myself and many others have always been fascinated with the concept of Dark Digidestined, bolstered by characters like the Digimon Emperor in Adventure 02, Koichi in Frontier, and even Dark Genii in Digimon Adventure Tri. And that's where I think the most obvious way to explore this concept would be with the 7 great demon lords, who are probably most commonly associated with the Digimon Savers canon, but as there are 7 of them, that matches up perfectly with the original 7 Digidestined of the Digimon Adventure canon. In addition, each of the demon lords has a crown of sin or vice assigned to them, which is one of the 7 deadly sins. And these crowns or codes, I think, work excellently as evil versions of the crests seen in Digimon Adventure. They do also have planetary bodies assigned to them, but unfortunately the elements at play there don't really match up with anything super useful. As such, for this video I'm going to be looking at the crowns of sin or vice primarily as to why I assign them to each Digidestined, and then the traits or appearance of the Digimon secondarily that might match up to any additional details with the Digidestined. Starting off with Joe, I have given him the crown of envy and therefore partnered him with Leviamon. The crown colour for Envy is blue, which doesn't necessarily match up with the crest of reliability or sincerity in Japan, it being more of a sort of grey colour. But given that Joe's Gomamon's Digivolution line does have a lot of water and ice themes throughout, especially if you consider Plesiamon as an alternative mega, and then considering that the crest of reliability does seem to manifest a lot of armor Digivolutions that are very water heavy like Submarimon, I think you can see that the blue of Envy could match up with the water theme, not necessarily the crest of reliability's colour. I think you can also see reliability or sincerity as an inverse to envy. Smart people, people who are relied upon, people that are supposed to be in positions of power, it might be a little bit of a stretch when you consider that Joe wants to be smart, he wants to be the leader of the team. When you get people in those positions, people who their IQ and their performance in tests matters to them and their family, when being relied upon is important to them, seeing other people who maybe do better in tests than them, are better at that work-life balance, have more people relying on them, it's very easy to get envious, to get jealous of people who you see as being better than you. So perhaps Joe's need to be reliable or to be sincere. I honestly think reliability works better for his character, weirdly enough. Someone's gonna hate me for saying that. Either way you cut it, I think you could definitely see Joe's darkness being tied into being envious of people who do better than him, or at least he perceives them to be doing better than him. And then there is Leviamon itself, who is kind of the water demon lord. It resides in the deepest parts of the net ocean, and indeed has notable examples of digivolving from very aquatic Digimon like Animalo Karimon, Dagomon, Hangyomon, Marine Devimon, Mega Seadramon, and more, so I think would be a great pick for Joe. Oh, and hey, before we carry on, I would like to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Buyee. You know Buyee by now, they are an amazing supporter of this channel, a proxy service which lets you get things you want from Japan from websites like Amazon JP, Yahoo Japan Shopping and Auctions, Mercari, Rakuten, and tons more. If you're a fan of Digimon Adventure or Digimon Savers or any other part of the Digimon fandom, you will definitely find yourself a bargain on Buyee. I am constantly hearing from viewers of this channel who have used my Buyee link, which is in the description down below. When you use it and sign up for the first time with my link, Buyee will give you a 2,000 yen coupon off your first purchase with Buyee. There are tons of Digimon items coming out, but also if you're looking for something from a while back, something like the Digivice IC from Digimon Savers, pop that into something like Yahoo Japan Auctions, especially if you search in Japanese, and you will find some great results. In addition, Buyee is also running a Chinese New Year festival until February 28th, with a bunch of additional coupons being given out for free, which means you could get an absolute bargain if you combine them with the 2,000 yen coupon you will get for signing up with my link. And Buyee also has a browser extension which lets you navigate to websites like Amazon JP and directly add to your Buyee cart from those websites, making the shopping process so much smoother. So like I say, you can use my link in the description, sign up for Buyee and get a 2,000 yen coupon, roughly $20 US off your first purchase with Buyee. And when you do make that first time purchase, you're directly supporting this channel too, because I get a little kickback. Thank you to Buyee for sponsoring this video. Go get yourself a bargain. Let's get to the next Digidestined. And then there is Mimi, who I have given the Crown of Greed, and therefore the Demon Lord Barbamon. Unfortunately, the crown colour of Greed isn't green to match her sincerity, but rather purple. So in this case, we can't really make a connection there. However, I really do think that greed is a great vice and inverse to Mimi's personality. Greed in many ways being the antithesis to sincerity in the dub or purity in the sub. Mimi's love of fashion and shopping, as well as her general princess aspirations, could definitely lead her to turning hard into greed, becoming a tyrannical princess hoarding wealth and goods. And in turn, this would make Barbamon a really good partner for her, because it is a cruel Digimon that is obsessed with treasure and would have no problem killing another Digimon to obtain it. The only thing that's disappointing here and kind of throughout is that unfortunately a lot of the Demon Lords don't have an elemental connection that we could marry up as well as we did Leviamon with Joe. It would be great if we could have something like grass or plant themed here, but I think greed still really works for Mimi. Then is Sora, who would get the Crown of Lust and therefore Lilithmon. This is a very natural fit. While again the Crown of Lust is not the right colour, I think everything else works amazingly here. If love can be romantic or platonic and pure, something that exists solely out of affection and warmth for another human being, lust is its uncomfortable mirror, being solely carnal in nature. This admittedly is pretty uncomfortable given the ages at play in the Digimon Adventure canon, but maybe for the purposes of this video and to make lust a little bit less uncomfortable,
God damn it, you're on thin ice, pal.
we could put our fanfiction hats on.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And say that maybe this fall to darkness the Digidestined are going through happens post Kizuna. Spoilers for Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna, skip to this timestamp. But maybe after losing all of their Digimon partners, their Digivices crusting over, the 7 great Demon Lords used this opportunity to prey on the Digidestined, finding their weaknesses, manipulating them, maybe Dark Genii got involved, and converting their crests into vices. Would be really cool, and I think a good opportunity to do this without, like I say, some of that uncomfortability with lust. And Lilithmon works fine, I guess. It's not a bird, which is a big factor of Sora's evolution lines, but I think it feels like quite a natural fit, especially as it is the Lust Demon Lord.
You naughty, naughty. You teasing me, you naughty, naughty.
And you know, there's an element of femininity there in Sora's Digimon, mainly Biyomon and Garudamon, kinda.
I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate.
Next is Izzy, and perhaps the weakest connection in this entire list because I have given him Gluttony. The Crown of Gluttony's colour does not match the Crest of Knowledge's colour, but something of a connection we could make is that the Demon Lord attached to Gluttony is Beelzemon, and of course in real-world Christian mythology, Beelzebub, its namesake, is the Lord of the Flies. That fly connection could, if you kind of think about it in a bit of an expanded brain way, tie into the bug Digimon that Izzy is partnered with. Flies, beetles, there's something there. And as a larger gentleman myself, I'm qualified to say that perhaps you could consider gluttony as gorging, leading to the deterioration of your body, which could definitely be seen as an inverse to knowledge, which is the deliberate nourishing of your mind. Deterioration of body with gluttony.
Ooh, that's bad.
Nourishing of mind with knowledge.
That's good.
There's something there. Again, probably the weakest one, but still kind of works. Then is Matt, who I have given the Crown of Sloth and therefore Belphemon Rage Mode. The Crown of Sloth is blue coloured, matching the blue colour of the Crest of Friendship, and it is notable that Belphemon Rage Mode is typically a mode change, but its counterpart Belphemon Sleep Mode, the small, more sedate version, is very rarely considered officially part of the Demon Lords. But Belphemon Sleep Mode is nonetheless a factor to consider, and I think combining Sloth, the Crown, and the Rage of Belphemon Rage Mode is a great inverse to the Crest of Friendship. Being lazy and therefore not maintaining your friendships, acting out in rage at people for minor inconveniences, eroding your friendships rather than listening to them, taking things on, going the extra mile, making the effort to keep those friendships strong. So that's why I think rage and sloth or laziness definitely could be the inverse to friendship, or at least something that would erode a friendship. But from there, the connection between Belphemon Rage Mode and Matt and Gabumon is a little bit tenuous, but I will choose to interpret Belphamon's slash attack, which is unleashed from its claws, clad in the flames of hell, known as the Gift of Darkness, a sort of parallel to the claws of specifically Gabumon, but also its entire Digivolution line. And maybe, you know, Dark Flame could be an inverse to Blue Fire, and sure, fire and claws aren't a thing exclusive to the Gabumon line by any means, but I do think that specifically in the rookie Gabumon, it wearing the pelt with the claws is a very important part of it. Some of these connections are going to be tenuous, but it's fun, right?
Okay. Whatever you say.
And then we have Tai, who would get the Crown of Wrath and would be partnered with Demon. The color of Wrath's crown is pretty similar to the color of Courage, and Wrath in many ways could be seen as the inverse of courage, perhaps acting wrathful out of secret inner cowardice. Exerting your wrath against someone is not really an act of courage, but rather an act of power, ultimately showing your weakness. And Demon's special move is an extremely high temperature hellfire known as Flame Inferno, and it is said that those who incur his technique burn up without a trace. This of course being a great tie-in to the Crest of Courage's fire element that we can see in the Agumon Digivolution line, as well as in armor Digivolutions like Flamedramon. In addition, as a kind of nice nod we can add on top, a version of Demon is ostensibly the main villain in the Digimon V-Tamer manga, whose protagonist is of course another universe's version of Taichi Yagami. And then is TK, who gets Lucemon fall down mode and therefore the Crown of Pride. I'll be honest here, I had to give TK Lucemon fall down mode because it's a fallen angel. Like, that's the main reason I did this. I hold my hands up. Even its rookie form Lucemon works so well here, it highly resembling an angel version of TK in many ways, at least to me. In addition to this, the Crown of Pride I think really does quite work well as an inverse to Hope. If we consider Hope to be the belief in what is to come next and being able to hold on to hope even when all seems darkest, a trust in oneself, but also more importantly those around you or around TK, his brother as well as Tai and the rest of the group. You could therefore consider Pride the dark side of Hope's coin, such unwavering ego that you can't picture a world where you don't succeed. Also believing solely in yourself and your own overinflated sense of pride, and not recognizing the abilities and accomplishments of others, and as such allowing darkness to overtake you. And that's it. Right? There's 7 Great Demon Lords, there's 7 Digidestined. Nah, you know the rub by now, we have to give a Digimon to Kari too, and luckily while they are these 7 Great Demon Lords, there is actually kind of an 8th member, and that is Ogudomon. Also known as the Super Demon Lord of Atonement, it is a grotesque Super Demon Lord who has 7 legs and eyes, as well as an 8th eye. Ogudomon is often used as a kind of fusion evolution of all the other Great Demon Lords, and therefore somewhat represents them all, as it includes the whole of the digital world's sins and is a mysterious personification with the ability to atone for them all. And I think the 8 eyes of Ogudomon is supposed to reference the 7 Great Demon Lords and then itself, but in this version it could also have a double meaning, meaning the original 7 Digidestined plus the 8th, Kari. All 8 Digidestined finally falling to a great sin and becoming this grotesque manifestation. And as a really great note, that does actually tie into the fact that there is supposedly an 8th deadly sin in Christian theology, that being considered the worst of the sins and is described in biblical terms as the sin against the Holy Ghost, making one a son of perdition. To sin against the Holy Ghost means to deny who you are and why you exist, or to put it another way, to completely turn away from the light, to turn away from truth, the truth of yourself, the truth of the things that you should believe in, and entirely fall to darkness. And of course, darkness, if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you will know is the exact opposite of light, which is Kari's crest. But those are my picks for which Digidestined I would give the 7 or 8 Great Demon Lords. I think it's always so much fun to think of these little what ifs and do partner swaps and things like that, but let me know in the comments down below if you've got some insight onto what might be better swaps. Maybe you'd like to give these to other Digidestined. I don't think other seasons work as well here because we do have 8 Digidestined and 8 Demon Lords, but have some fun with it in the comments down below, and also let me know if you'd like to see something like this in future. Is there another Digimon group you'd like me to give to Digidestined, or just a partner swap idea that you have that you'd love to see me think on? Let me know all that in the comments down below. Remember, if you become a channel member like my wonderful Sovereign ZDK, at the Digidestined level, you can suggest videos and I will definitely do them. It might take me a while, but I will do them. And of course, you get early access to all my videos, like all the people you can see on screen right now. Thank you all so much for supporting this channel. It is about to get crazy for Digimon fandom as Digimon Con is on February 26th. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.